Hello!
Welcome to Grifter of the Week, the show where we dig into the con artists, the scoundrels, the naughty boys of the
Other
world.
words for lying dudes.
Yeah. A lot of people don't know what grifter means. Huge oversight on our part.
Yeah, we really should have thought that through. Look it up in your own time, Urban Dictionary.
Well, it's like, yeah, people are like, what does grifter mean? Hey, man, Google it. Also, I've used it in a series of fucking synonyms for con artists.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't...
Figure it out.
I wouldn't listen to a Monster of the Week podcast not knowing what a monster is, personally.
Exactly.
Anyway, Joel.
Yes.
Who have you brought to the table today? I'm excited to find out who it is.
Well, here's the thing, Caleb. I would like, once again, after last episode's triumph, play a little game of Guess the Grifter.
I love Guess the Grifter.
Right.
Play that jingle!
You have to do the jingle.
No, there's a edit space for you to put in whatever you want there.
But can you give me like a rough draft?
Well, I think that the Guess the Grifter jingle
and I'll
would
definitely, I'm not going to deceive you.
You're definitely going to edit something out. Okay, well, I would probably want it to go like something along the lines of dong dong ka-dong dong 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 ka-dong dong dong dong. Yeah, great. Okay, awesome. Okay,
Guess the Grifter!
Is it Helen Clark?
No.
Ah, well,
Why do you think it was Helen Clark?
You tuned in to Guess the Grifter. We were wrong this week.
All right, hold on a second. There's a couple of teenagers loitering around the studio. They're graffitiing a giant penis on the wall.
Oh, okay.
God damn.
So we've got some kids graffitiing a penis on the wall?
Those absolute bloody mongrels.
Oh, this was so easy. Let's see.
Those oxygen-stealing thieves are tagging penises outside my office.
So,
those dirty fools.
So everyone in New Zealand has guessed that the person that you're doing is the main presenter of Police 10-7.
And what great detectives they are, considering it is in the title.
Oh yeah, I always forget that
You're
shit.
the only one that guesses.
Well, the thing is that I guessed it before you did the voice, because you do this facial expression when you do your impression of him, where you like bellow your chin out and you're like...
You gotta do it.
So Police 10-7...
Police 10-7.
There's a show here in New Zealand where we like to sort of make a public spectacle out of people whose lives are being ruined by the police.
Absolutely. And we'll get into that. But before we do, Caleb, once again, I was doing some research and I found out some fun facts.
Oh, wow.
And if you'd indulge me, I'd like to read them out to you.
Play that jingle!
Can you give me another?
Oh, I did the last one. Surely we've got to separate off.
You're so good at it.
All right. Another one. Okay.
Welcome to Fun Facts with Probably Not Joel. Here's our first fact.
So you went with your cyber name.
My cyber name?
Yeah.
Shut
Instead
up.
of just Joel.
Don't never say that to me again. The New Zealand Emergency Services once enjoyed a thriving World of Warcraft clan, but the community quickly disbanded as the police force insisted on only raiding during the crack of dawn.
Right.
You know about the dawn raids?
No, I don't know about the dawn raids.
That's why that joke isn't funny then, I guess.
How
do you not know about the dawn raids?
What are the dawn raids?
The dawn raids is, and the Prime Minister just publicly apologized for this on behalf of like the previous governments. But essentially what the dawn raids are is, before we had our recession, we got a lot of like Pacific Islanders to come and like do work and be laborers. And then like the recession hit and we were like, it's their fault. And then so the police would like raid them at like 3 o'clock in the morning, just like these Pacific Island communities.
For what?
To find people whose visas had like expired.
Oh, so it was like an immigration thing. Like, okay.
Yeah.
Wow, that's like crazy. That's like some fucking
and they would
stormtrooper shit.
They would do it at like 3 a.m.
That's nuts.
Yeah, on like a Tuesday.
Oh my God.
All right. Well, that joke didn't work. In 2012, here's one that I think might be more your speed.
Okay.
In 2012, the New Zealand police raided internet mogul Kim.com's home and shut down his business.
Friend of the show.
Kim thanked his family for their support during this rough patch in his life, singling out his nerdy older brother CoolMathGames.com and his devoted stepmother Pornhub.com.
Oh, wow. Cool maths games, man.
So, just to get the listener up to speed, the joke about the dawn raids.
Yeah, I'm not educated enough for that.
Doesn't know about the dawn raids. Does know, however, about CoolMathGames.com. Well, that's probably the least.
That's the fun fact segment out of the way.
Fun fact segment. So I thought I'd start off.
Sorry, what's his name? Is it Graham?
His name is Graham Bell. For those of you who don't know who Graham Bell is, here's a little teaser for you.
Tonight on Police 10-7, we're looking for your help to find a group of murderous thugs. Two young creeps, a half-wit with a gun, a false beard and a turban. A mindless lowlife, two vicious morons, two armed and violent mongrels, three stooges, three desperate and wild-eyed gutless goons, three vicious apes, two fat women and a man with a gun. This scruffy little thug, this little germ, lunatics.
Now here's the thing. Here's my question I'm posing to you right now. What do you think it does to a culture to have somebody in such a high level of authority as the guy, like an old police commissioner, talking about criminals. What do you think it does to a culture to have a bunch of predominantly young Māori and Pacific Islanders like referred to as apes, mongrels, germs?
We don't have the full context of that video, and it's very possible that a couple of primates escaped Wellington Zoo.
That's only a highlight reel that Police 10-7 themselves threw together.
Why is it called Police 10-7?
Because 10-7 is like their code for like the call out.
Oh, I thought it was like trying
10-7.
to tell you what number to call.
What number to call?
It's not the number that you're supposed to call. Oh. Okay. Yeah. Ooh.
Here we go.
Numbers 10-5, numbers
10-5.
Contact police for non-emergencies. The number's 10-5, so use this number, please. The number's
10-5.
It's for the whole nation, the police direct line.
This song is 3 minutes long, and we will be listening to the whole song.
Okay, yeah. Hold on, that woman sounded like she was like ethnic.
Yeah.
The police can't be racist.
Nah, impossible.
Put your hands in the air.
Like you just don't care?
Nah, you're under arrest for the stolen goods we found in your garage.
And we're here at 3 a.m. to tell you about it.
If it's happening now, call 111. If it's already happened, call 10-5. Let's talk about getting fucking filmed while you're being arrested and what that does. Here's a clip.
To keep his mate Bruce out of trouble. Oh, don't worry, get back to safe, don't trip. Don't trip, get back to safe. What? Please, don't come. This is on police station? No, don't come. Don't come, I don't kill. Right, hang on. I told you. Boss, can you cover our face from this? Yeah, it's covered, bro. Don't worry about it, okay?
Instantly, you can see the anxiety, right? Is this on Police 10-7? Can you please blur my face? That's an important thing to note because it's like shitty to be arrested, obviously, especially if you're fucking brown and you know what the police are like. It's very anxiety inducing.
Yeah, it's weird. You'd think that the camera would make them more gentle.
No, but
it makes it worse.
But the police have the final say on the edit of Police 10-7. These cameras are not a safety blanket. They're only an added anxiety factor to the already highly anxiety-inducing experience of being arrested by a police officer. The whole thing of they blur their faces. Do you not think this guy's friends can identify him using like context clues, where they are, the sound of their voice?
Yeah, and pay attention with these shows like Cops and Police 10-7 to the kinds of crimes that are being like presented.
They're not fucking investigating tax fraud.
No, exactly. It's never some like white businessman being fucking, walked out of Datacom or whatever for some sort of fraud. It's always petty crime.
Most of the time, they're drunk.
Well, and it's because it's specifically to prey on people who aren't presenting themselves in a flattering way.
Exactly. It's to get the juiciest footage. Let's keep going.
Tony might be tough in front of his friends, but in the car, it's a different story. You want my test, please? I can't wipe the tears away. Just...
Can you wipe my tears away, officer?
That's so sad.
Do you think it's in like the New Zealand public's best interests to have the footage of this guy in the car asking a police officer to wipe his tears because he's like ashamed and scared?
I think to fucking see that and to like...
To call this video Hard Gangster Cries After Getting Arrested, to be such a fucking heartless cunt.
There's absolutely no reason to broadcast them in their like emotional distress for your own personal weird...
Revenge vendetta,
Yeah, it's so fucking weird.
I'll let you know, dude. I'll let you know.
This kid is in the car by himself, but the cameras are still rolling.
I'm not the boy for you. I'm not the boy for you.
This fucking kid did some like car vandalism with his friends, and now footage of him crying for his mum in the back of a police car is being broadcast to everyone in New Zealand. What fucking purpose does that serve?
They can put out as many fucking ads as they want about like a friendly police. In
you can
New
have
Zealand.
tattoos and be a police officer now.
You'd need 1 million of those ads to make up for one episode of Police 10-7.
It's fucked. There's just culturally, this is just an absolute disgrace for our fucking country. I don't know how you can watch that clip and find it funny or like watch that that clip and feel that you have any entitlement to like having seen that. So now we're getting into the discourse, right? So an Auckland City Councillor tweeted, "Hey at TVNZ, it's time you dropped Police 10-7. A couple of days ago I was watching TV and your ad cut promoting the program showed young brown people. This stuff is low-level chewing gum TV that feeds on racial stereotypes, and it's time you acted as a responsible broadcaster and cut it."
Hell yeah.
So Graham Bell shows up on News Talks MB to talk to a friend of the show, Mike Hosking, and he said, "Does he want the police to ignore crime if it's committed by brown people? I'm beginning to think that there are people that do want that." Graham Bell, you absolute fucking cunt. That is not what he's saying. The fact that you can't reply to the actual issue and you have to like
Do you think that's him
this
being-
weird straw man where like, of course people aren't saying you should ignore crime committed by brown people. They're saying you shouldn't target brown people.
Do you think that he's being deliberately obtuse?
I fucking probably. He's an old white police officer
Yeah.
who made his like living and fame off of calling young teens mongrels and apes.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna
excuse me if I don't really give a fuck what he has to say about this issue. And you go, well, what's the grift? The grift is people are like making their living, making Police 10-7. They're like directly profiting from it. You're like culturally fucking setting your targets on a minority group of people for like entertainment. That's the grift. If you're involved at all in Police 10-7, you're a cunt. If you think it's funny to laugh at some kid crying and apologizing to his mum and his girlfriend in the back of a cop car when he's presumably, as far as he's aware, alone, maybe he didn't see the cameras, who knows. If you think that's funny, you're a cunt.
Yeah.
And I hope that your next segment is a lighthearted, funny one.
You know what? While we're here, why don't we play that jingle for Guess the Grifter?
How'd it go?
Dong donk. Da gong 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 donk. Da gong gong gong. Yeah. Great, awesome. Let me just get the old anti-social network out. Okay, so the first bit of information I'm going to give you about this man is that he was born in England in 1945. You know, Hiroshima and Nagasaki have freshly been nuked.
Yep.
Though is born in England, is an American citizen.
And I know about him.
I believe so. Okay, he made his millions developing software.
Did he recently die?
Yes.
Is it fucking Mr. McAfee?
Mr. McAfee.
Oh, this is such a good one.
Yeah,
dude.
you're
Oh, I
excited.
fucking love this guy.
John
Please tell
McAfee.
me we're going to get into the part where he cuts a hole in a hammock and gets his asshole eaten out.
I
by-
have read so much about John McAfee over the past week, and I have not heard about that. You just want to fucking tell me about that to start us off?
Let me pull up.
So while Joel fumbles to try and find this information to educate us on the hammock story, I'll just go over a tiny bit about people at home might not know who John McAfee is.
Sure.
If you are a nerd who has ever used a Windows computer in your entire life, you have probably seen the McAfee antivirus software. It is an incredibly famous antivirus software because once it's installed, it is virtually impossible to remove from your computer.
It's a real bitch.
It's a real bitch. It acts as a virus itself, even though it's an antivirus. He then made millions of dollars off of that and then went on to be one of the like craziest rich cunts in the world.
I found it.
All right, go on then.
It's even juicier than I thought.
Go on then.
Multiple women claim John McAfee would have them take dumps in his mouth from a hammock. So they're in the hammock,
Yep.
they've cut a hole,
Yep.
and they're shitting in his mouth.
I actually do have a little bit on that.
All right.
I thought it was
I'll give
the
the rein-
arse aiding.
I'll
kind
give,
of
I'll
threw
give
me
the
off a
reins
little
back to you.
So, John McAfee, it's harder to necessarily attribute grifty traits to him.
Right.
So, at the very, very, very least, the fact that you cannot uninstall.
Yeah, his software is dog shit, dude.
The fact that you cannot get rid of the antivirus software is enough. He got his big break when something in the 90s happened called the Michelangelo virus. So, it's discovered in Australia.
Is it a virus that makes your penis shrink?
Did Michelangelo have a small penis?
Nah, all of his statues had real small penises. Real cute little boys.
No,
little
but
buttons.
no, but it did make you really good with nunchucks.
Perfect.
And delicious pizza.
Yeah.
But so the idea of the Michelangelo virus was it was discovered in Australia, and it was a virus that was uniquely timed to all go off at the same time on a specific day.
Oh, it's like a bio.
It's like a sleeper agent virus.
Oh my God.
Right? And then on Michelangelo's birthday, I want to say like March 6th, it's set so that every computer that has the virus on it will...
Oh, I'm so stupid. He's a software developer. Of course you're talking about a computer virus. I thought there was some bio weapon that was being fucking
This
sent
is
out.
so funny. funny.
Yeah, I'm
John
what a
McAfee's at the front line of the
fool I am.
pandemic.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
The Michelangelo virus.
I'm sorry.
Maybe I'm stupid and I didn't clear that up.
No.
I did say antivirus
Isn't
software.
it? Yeah, that's very.
Yeah.
It's very clear.
So yeah, the idea is all the computers, kind of like a Y2K situation.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
John McAfee says up to 5 million computers are going to get fucked by this Michelangelo virus.
Mm-hmm.
Here's what you can do. March 6th comes around. Happy birthday, Michelangelo. About 10,000 computers are destroyed.
Sure.
And the press absolutely just go for John McAfee's asshole. Like, they're really angry at him because he really made a massive deal out of this virus and it turned out to not be an issue at all.
Yeah.
Despite that, he still managed to triple his net worth over that time and didn't really see any actual consequences.
Right.
And that's the maybe second reason you could call him a grifter. He then releases his free antivirus software. How, Joel, you're a smart guy. John McAfee is giving out to the whole world a free antivirus software.
Yeah.
How is he making his money?
Selling your data.
No, yeah. That's the new grift. You know what I mean? Data's the new oil. That's what they say.
Mining Bitcoin in the background.
He loves his Bitcoin, but he came onto that much later. This is the 90s.
Putting a really annoying search bar on your internet browser.
Fuck, that's the worst. I hate that one.
Yeah.
No,
I
it's not
remember
that.
my Nana had 12.
Yeah.
Half of the screen is just
Yeah.
ask.com, yahooanswers.com,
Yeah, Ask
google.com, ask Jeeves, bing.com. What does Jeff think about this.com? Oh my God, dude.
Yep.
What is it?
The answer is having fine print that specifically charges corporations that you can invoice. So the idea is heaps and heaps of, he knew this would happen. People in their workstations.
That's so sneaky.
Downloaded the free antivirus software because it's free and everybody uses it.
Yeah.
And then he can just charge any corporation that uses it because they need a corporate license to run it.
It's like the anti-WinRAR.
So
I hope he's doing well. We can get
Yeah.
into it later, but I hope he's in good health. And
maybe that's a good time to say there's, from this point forward, despite the fact that we've maybe already talked about shitting in mouths, there is going to be some content that's a little bit dark.
shitting in mouths isn't dark. It's sexy. No, it's gross. I don't know if I'd call it dark.
No, it's gross. I don't like poo. I had a two truths, one lie thing written down for this, but now that you know about the shit eating,
Right.
and you seem to know a fair amount about John McAfee, I feel like you'd easily be able to do it.
Just
I feel
do
like
it.
I'd rather. Okay. Well, I've got 2 truths and 1 lie about John McAfee.
Is this a new segment?
Sure.
Well, it's going to need a theme song.
Yeah, you're right. 2 truths, 2 truths. It's a longer one. 2 truths, 1 lie. We got a soundboard for that.
Yeah.
So I'm going to read you out 3 things about John McAfee.
All right.
You need to identify which one of them is false. And if you identify the wrong one, you will be put underneath a hammock.
Oh, no.
Okay, so here is the first one. John McAfee once faked a heart attack to avoid the justice system.
Nice. What a classic move.
John McAfee stars in his own rap video outlining his life.
I really want that to be true.
John McAfee, despite his connection to Q, was in Epstein's Black Book.
Oh, well, here's the thing. John McAfee, the odds, I don't know this for a fact, but the odds on him not being a pedophile, astoundingly low.
How do you make that calculation? Let's go into the Joel.
Probably just everything about him.
I agree.
Probably a
I just
pedophile.
thought you should show you're working on that one.
Allegedly, but also for sure. I'm going to say that faking the heart attack is a lie because I really, really want you to start playing this video. And I also definitely think he's a pedophile.
All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to eliminate slowly through the story, each of these is being truths, and we'll see if you've got the right one. So he goes out and he spends $11 million on his new sport that he wants to invent called aero trekking.
Right.
Imagine a kite sail on a motorbike that actually flies.
That does sound sick as fuck.
Like, look up aero trekking just because you're not going to believe me. It looks like something out of like a superhero movie or whatever.
Yeah.
He seems to have, I'm sure he didn't invent it, but he's literally just like riding a motorbike around in the sky.
That's fucking sick.
It's insane. And so he
Because
spends...
if I was as rich as him, I'd be spending a lot more of my time doing that and a lot less of my time getting my mouth off Shatton.
He built 4 hangars, 2 airstrips. He built a 5-bedroom villa.
The absolute dream.
He, in fact, also with like set up a bunch of airports that are like used as the infrastructure for like access points from like Mexico, and like he's just like that airstrip was just like really successful. And then his nephew was flying around one day with a 61-year-old student friend.
Yeah.
And then they both crashed into the side of a canyon and died.
Oh, did he fake his heart attack to get out of that?
And the family of the 61-year-old friend of the nephew who was brought along decided to sue John McAfee for, I think it's wrongful death, something like that.
The suit was probably something like, hey, dickhead, you attached a motorbike to a fucking kite.
Yeah.
And now he's dead.
Now he's dead.
Of course this is your fault.
He basically his first run-in with like the idea of being sued for doing whatever he wants.
Right.
Freaked him out a little bit. He decides to sort of concoct a plan.
I'm going to make a rap video.
Wiki wah. So he sells everything, packs up all the shit, heads over to Belize.
I believe I can fly.
Got any others?
I've got a motorbike attached to a kite.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that cliff is approaching. Now I think about it, that guy was innocent, so I'm gonna stop singing now.
Yeah, that guy died.
Yeah, I'm sorry about making a parody song about your demise.
You imagine if the mongrel mob had like a fleet of kite motorbikes.
I think that's what the money was for.
The money?
Yeah, from Cindy.
Oh, you mean...
They're like, listen, those bikes are really lacking some kites.
So he moves to Belize. Over there he meets a woman who is by the name of Allison. She's a botanist, and she is currently working on a new way to cure infections by like disrupting the way that cells communicate with each other with pheromones. He decides upon meeting her that he's going to completely fund her research, set her up with a lab in Belize.
I'm sure no ulterior motives.
No, he said that it was with the intention of commercializing the product after it was
I thought he
developed.
was doing it for pussy.
Well, you'll see why in a moment that he really did not need to worry about that.
Right.
So not only does he have a longtime girlfriend that he brings to Belize with him, and he always is
He's
in
a
a
faithful
relationship.
man.
I think that he is a faithful man, but only because there's no way it could have been a secret what he was doing.
Right.
Like
yeah.
he was having
He's coming
like
home with
100
just a
people
big-
orgies.
He's coming home with a big brown smile. She's like, where were you? He's like, what do you mean?
Oh,
It's like, you've got shit around your mouth. He's like,
So it's about this time that John starts getting involved with some drugs.
yeah. That's really one way to put it.
Yeah, he starts to experiment with some drugs.
Yeah.
And he seems to take a liking to bath salts
Yeah, he
in
does.
particular. There's a specific kind that's his favorite kind of bath salt called MVPD. And basically a forum post was like unearthed. That's him talking about like using bath salts. He talked about how it made him and everyone who used it incredibly horny.
Yeah.
He said that some people in his company who had taken the MVPD had tried to have sex with some of his dogs.
Oh, no.
And he said that he will no longer, because of this being a frequent issue, allow anyone on MVPD around his dogs ever, because it's that much of a...
Hey, stop taking the drug that makes you want to fuck dogs. Please.
Okay, hold on, though. A part of you is thinking, though.
How good is it?
Yeah. If it's good enough to make me want to fuck a dog,
Yeah.
it has to be pretty good. It also made... The other side effect is that it makes you incredibly paranoid. Like, incredibly paranoid. Like, he's not sleeping for days and days and days. He decides to have an entourage made up of both a lot of sex workers and a lot of armed gang members. Everywhere he went, there was like an army of like armed soldiers and like a harem of paid women.
He really is like living some weird movie.
Have you played Far Cry?
Yeah, he's a Far Cry villain.
He's
for
literally
sure.
the Far Cry villain. Yeah. He's like got this like jungle, like weird. Yeah, it's fucking nuts.
Got a compound. He's got an army.
In this forum post, he outlines that he's working on trying to make a new kind of drug that's like a more refined version of MVPD. Okay. Now we return to Allison. She, with the guidance and direction of John McAfee, decides to abandon her research about
Curing disease.
curing infection and focused on making a female Viagra.
Oh.
So I'm pretty sure, like this is me putting on my investigative hat, but I'm pretty sure the forum post of him saying that he was like making VDP drugs and stuff, and talking about how like much of an aphrodisiac it is.
Yeah.
And then him trying to like extract it into a pure version. I'm pretty sure what he was trying to do is extract the like horny chemical out of that. And then with this lab that he's built, because for this woman in this lab, he's like just built an entire like complex.
It's like Breaking Bad, but for wet pussies.
I can just see the fucking Far Cry game now where you have to break into the lab and steal the like the pussy formula.
It's all slippery.
Oh, jeez.
Smells like...
Belizeans.
Yeah. What does Belizean pussy smell like?
I Belizean pussy.
Yeah. Pussy agnostic. I've not seen a pussy before.
But you are open to the idea that they may exist.
That they may exist, yeah.
So, because the Belizean government have seen an incredibly rich man move into the jungle, start a lab, and then start like a private army or whatever, they're
troublesome.
like, hold on.
I'd raise an eyebrow for sure.
Do we reckon this guy might be doing some drug stuff?
I believe he is.
So, the FBI raid him.
Yeah.
Some of the women in his harem. Is harem like an offensive term?
I don't know, but you've been saying it an awful lot. So
yeah.
We'll find out.
If you guys cringe every time I say harem, let me know. Some of the women, I don't really know whether it was an intentional manipulation or not, but they started telling John that the Belizean government was like out to get him. So incorrectly, John McAfee the entire time has thought that the Belizean government is like this corrupt institution that's specifically out to get him. He claimed that the reason that he got raided is because he didn't platform the prime minister's son, who's a rapper.
Right.
He says that's why they did it. And
He
then
didn't give him a feature on his track.
Oh, maybe. But the Belizean government put out a statement after him accusing them of that, saying that they'll make absolutely no apologies for treating somebody as a person of interest when they move into the jungle and start a private army.
Yeah.
So yeah, fair enough. After the Belizean government start to, in John's mind, crack down on him when that isn't true, he starts freaking out and wants to flee Belize.
Sure.
He flees back to America. And the problem is that he comes home not the same John McAfee that he left.
No.
And he's going back to his old place. But he's brought his entourage with him. And the neighbors don't like that very much.
What the fuck
They're like,
are you doing?
You've brought a harem of women, an army of soldiers, and like 50 dogs.
Yeah.
And they keep biting everyone on the island, man. Like, Jesus Christ.
They're used to fucking people trying to have sex with them.
One man in particular, a former US Marine, got so fed up that he allegedly poisoned the dogs.
1080 or?
It's not proven at all that this guy's poisoned these dogs, but a short while later, this man dies.
Oh.
We know that he's killed by two men that he does not recognize.
Right.
That's what we know about it.
Okay.
It's completely up in the air as to whether or not John McAfee paid two people to kill his neighbor for killing his dogs. It's not proven either way. But they've never tried to investigate him for it or anything like that.
Right.
They've never conducted a proper investigation into it. But that's enough for him to get afraid again.
Yeah.
And need to get the fuck out of his current position again. So he needs to move once more. So he flees and tries to enter Guatemala, at which point he is apprehended by Interpol for entering Guatemala illegally. And then they're in this bit like weird head scratchy situation where I want to say John McAfee wants to go to Mexico and Belize wants him in Belize. He's quite happy in his Guatemalan prison. He just really wants to avoid Belize.
Right.
Because he believes that Belize are gonna like
he's
hang
up to
him.
no good. Yeah.
Like that he really thinks the worst of him. He'd rather be in Guatemalan prison, but he knows that appeals are currently being made for him to be transferred to Belize. He knows that some appeals are being made to like let him go in America. So before they can process him and send him back to Belize, he suddenly clutches his chest and actually fakes 2 heart attacks.
Right, back to back.
Which managed to not get him out of it.
Yeah.
But it manages to delay the process long enough so that the necessary appeals can come through so that he avoids being sent back to Belize.
Right.
And he basically just got what he wanted out of that situation and was let go the way that he wanted to be let go on 2 fake heart attacks. And he came out afterwards and said that they were fake and that was the purpose of them. He does a lot of like, these were my brilliant plays.
Yeah.
And they're all really interesting. You should go and read them because this man's lived a much crazier life than like I'm going to have explained. So that's the first thing that's been eliminated on the list.
I think he's made the rap video. I really do.
Can I have your phone?
If an instrumental comes.
Yes! Let's go!
He was not in the book.
He wasn't in the book.
He was not in the book.
Got his own plane, baby.
What you know about the streets?
What you know about beliefs? What you know about faking your own heart attacks just to ditch the police?
Believe that.
What you know about privacy? I got a bad bitch on side of me.
Yeah.
I got the FBI eyeing me. All of these hackers are trying me. Trying to get them a peek. Trying to get all on my Twitter for that coin of the week. I got China trying to ban every time that I speak. And now we got Trump. Bet you wish you voted for me. I got an arsenal. A bunch of big guns. Cars to pull, cars holes with the crypto.
You can sing along in this bit.
McAfee. John. McAfee.
John.
McAfee.
John.
Fuck with my dogs. Don't fuck with my dogs.
Don't fuck with my dog, or I'll kill you.
Yeah.
I'll murder you.
You gon' see my vision. Got hoes shooting at me and they just keep missing.
Boom.
McAfee.
John.
McAfee.
John.
McAfee.
John.
Fuck with my dogs.
Don't fuck with my dogs.
I like that a lot.
Okay, so let's start by trying to rank Police 10-7.
I'm thinking, because it's like a localized thing, kind of want to put it... So it goes Dr. Penny Patterson, Police 10-7, Kevin Trudeau.
I reckon we put her above Dr. Penny Patterson.
So it goes Jim from The Office.
Yeah, that's better.
Police 10-7.
Yeah, that's better.
Dr. Penny Patterson.
Yeah.
All right, that's them on the list. Where do we put Mr. McAfee?
He's done the least, damage. I mean, he's done a lot of damage to himself.
I kind of want to put him just below Kevin Trudeau. What do you think?
Kevin!
That's locked in. Kevin Trudeau, John McAfee, Alan Conway. If you've enjoyed this episode, feel free to email grifteroftheweek@gmail.com with a little letter. We'll read it out on the show. You can also follow me on all platforms at Probably Not Joel. Kaleb, where can they find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Kaleb the Saucy Roll Boy and on Adventure Quest Worlds with the same name.
Thank you for listening.
All right, peace and love. Happy grifting, everyone.
Happy grifting.